Okay, I was a member of the Waiheke County Council from 1983 to 1986. It was an independent local body at that stage, and so we did everything. The whole island was a self-contained authority. We were at that time the Onotangi properties were leased by the Waiheke Golf Club. They had a 9-hole course on that land, and the property was put up for sale. So the members of the golf club came to us and asked us if we would purchase the land that was going to be sold. And so we actually had some money that we could spend on it, but it pretty much cleaned us out, if I remember rightly. And we eventually decided, or some of us decided, that it was a good thing to do, but we wanted it to be for the wider use of the community. So we actually envisaged a community hub, a sort of a sports and recreation area with a 9-hole golf course on it, but also with other activities in the area. And at the time we asked the golf club people, are you going to be happy with the 9-hole course? And they said yes, they were. That's just from my memory. I mean, that's not on. I don't think it's on. It's certainly not in the record from the council meeting, but it possibly is in the Golf Newses of the time. So.
What time was that?
I think it was 1984 from memory. Yeah.
Do you know what month that would have been?
Somebody told me December, but I can't remember offhand.
Oh, yeah.
So December is possibly the time you'd go looking for. Yeah.
So just talk a little bit more about, so obviously the 9-hole versus 18-hole debates now come to the fore a little bit due
Yes.
to the wetland at Rangihawa. Just talk a little bit more about your understanding. Like, did you actually feel it was necessary to ask them, are you happy with 9 holes? Was at that stage, was there any discussion of an expansion?
Well, I guess we realised that it would be a natural inclination for people to want 18 holes. We were thinking that it would be shared by a number of bodies, organisations, groups on the island. Anybody who had a need would be able to use that land. So we imagined a complex out there. And so that's why we asked them that question, and they were happy at that stage said they were, although what John Collins said the other night seemed to suggest that they were always thinking 18 holes, but obviously we were the first hurdle. They needed to get the land in the first instance. So that may be a cynical view, but that's what it sounded like from what he said, that they were always thinking 18 holes, but we were thinking 9. And then 2003, I think they got an extension of their lease. The leased area got extended out to include a much larger area of land, so that would make it possible for the 18 holes that you can spend. With creativity and imagination, you can fit things in a big area, and I think it's quite possible that the golf course could have wetlands and water courses as part of the design of their course, and you could still have use by other people. But people have to put some imaginative energy into that and be willing to work together and be willing to look a little bit further and make something that's unique rather than just another boring golf course and filling in, and the damage that they're talking about doing, filling in wetlands, interrupting a hydrological sequence, because that was what it will do, as Tony King-Turner said the other night. The water above the area is actually pristine, and then you get down into those lower reaches and it's starting to become sort of muddied by silt from various land activities, I guess. But you could have a beautiful sequence going right from the watershed at the top, right through the wetlands and down to the streams and down to the lower wetland and out to the bay. And I don't see that as incompatible. It's what Don Chappell told us, and it's what he showed us that you can do. You can take a piece of degraded wetland or wetland that's been misused, and you can make it something really nice. And you can incorporate it into your living. You've got to, we need to embrace wetlands, and we need to embrace waterways, and we need to look after them because they're part of our ecology.
There's almost like overlapping issues here, right? You mean,
yes.
Like there's the issue of the golf club having 18 holes is one issue, but their intent to create that by massive clean filling of a wetland is a separate issue, isn't it? It's an overlapping issue.
Yes.
I mean, no one would really care too much about the 18 holes as long as we could resolve the issue of the equestrian access. But what I feel is a lot of kind of surprise and anger around the intent to destroy a wetland to create that expansion of up to 18 holes.
Yes. Yes, I totally agree with that. I hope you're not going to cut that out. Yeah, you said that really well, because it actually is. It's become so complex because there's so many different things going on, and that includes the consent, which was non-notified, to put that clean fill in there, and that seems to be unnecessary. But it's a move by the golf club and the council. Probably it's moved by the golf club on one hand to make money, and it's a move and get, contour their greens. But I'm sure, like you say, they could do that if they needed to without all the landfill. It's a move by the golf club on one hand to make money, and on the other hand, it's a solution for the council, because there is no clean fill site on the island, and that is a real problem. And they need to get a clean fill site, and that's a community issue, driven by the council, who are just, after all, our governing body, who are just there to represent us and to make decisions on our behalf. So, you can see that from their point of view, it's a very neat solution. But from the wetlands and the waterways and the bay down below, that bay's taken a hammering from the quarry and from the development of the sports park. There's a lot of extra silt in there that wasn't there before, and if there's clean fill put at the top of that hydrological system, then it's going to end up down in the bay. Silt is going to end up in the bay. What Don Chappell said was, silt is unstoppable, and it will end up down there. And so, yeah.